My beloved child, listen with your whole presence, because what I speak now is not noise, not coincidence, not imagination. Archangel Michael says, something in your life has been quietly feeding on your trust while wearing the face of support. It smiles when you smile, nods when you speak, and yet drains you in ways you could never explain. You have felt the confusion already. The strange tiredness after certain conversations, the heaviness after certain promises, the delay that appears just when you are about to move forward. This message reaches you because your soul has been asking for clarity, not comfort. There is a pattern repeating, and it is not accidental. You were meant to notice the pauses, the mixed signals, the sweetness followed by emptiness. What looks like guidance has been keeping you circling the same place. What looks like help has been quietly redirecting your power away from you. This is not about fear, this is about awareness. Something important is unfolding now, and the timing of this message is the first sign that the fog is thinning. Hear this carefully, because most people miss this moment and only understand it much later. Archangel Michael says, the situation you are in did not begin with loss, it began with permission. You allowed someone, something, or some idea to define your pace, your worth, or your future. At first it felt safe, even reassuring. You thought, this makes sense, or this is temporary, or they know better than me. And slowly, almost invisibly, your inner voice became quieter. You started doubting your instincts while trusting explanations that never fully satisfied you. Each delay was justified. Each redirection was made to sound wise. Yet deep inside, there has been a steady signal telling you that your growth is being negotiated, postponed, or diluted. This is how the illusion works, not by force, but by agreement. Not by pressure, but by repetition. You were never weak, you were patient. And patience, when misplaced, can be used against the soul without the soul realizing it. Now observe this truth, because it changes everything. Archangel Michael says, what is being revealed to you is not who to blame, but where your power still is. The moment you see the pattern, it loses its hold. Notice how certain outcomes never arrive, how clarity is always, almost there, how the finish line keeps moving. That is not fate, that is distraction dressed as destiny. You were meant to advance, not to wait endlessly. You were meant to expand, not to keep explaining why you haven't yet. The real shift begins when you stop asking for permission to trust yourself. The signs around you, repeated thoughts, sudden realizations, unexpected pauses, are aligning to show you the exit you couldn't see before. This is why this message feels intense, personal, and precise. It is not here to frighten you, it is here to return something that was slowly taken, your certainty. Let this sink in, because the next realization is the turning point. Archangel Michael says, the moment you stop feeding what drains you, your life will accelerate in ways that feel unreal. Opportunities that were blocked will reappear without effort. Decisions that felt heavy will suddenly feel simple. You will notice how little energy you actually need once it is no longer being pulled in the wrong direction. This is not about cutting away with anger, it is about stepping forward with clarity. When you withdraw your belief from what keeps you small, it collapses on its own. You do not need to prove anything. You do not need to explain your growth. Silence, alignment, and action will do the work. This is how restoration begins, not with noise, but with precision. Finally, remember this, and carry it beyond this moment. Archangel Michael says, "You were never behind, never lost, never forgotten. You were paused so you could see. And now that you see, movement returns. Trust will feel different from now on, calmer, cleaner, unmistakable. You will recognize truth not by how convincing it sounds, but by how peaceful it leaves you feeling." This message arrived because you are ready to reclaim direction without guilt and strength without apology. Stand steady in what you know now. The path ahead does not require struggle, it requires honesty with yourself. I stand with you as clarity replaces confusion and momentum replaces delay. Amen. Stay present with these words, because what unfolds next is the layer most people never reach. Archangel Michael says, once your awareness shifts, the environment around you begins to respond immediately, even before you act. You may notice subtle changes, certain voices becoming quieter, certain influences losing relevance, certain routines no longer fitting the person you are becoming. This is not coincidence, it is alignment. When truth enters your awareness, illusions no longer receive energy. You might feel a strange mix of relief and discomfort at the same time, because growth often feels like standing on unfamiliar ground. Do not rush to fill the silence with old habits. That silence is not emptiness, it is space being cleared for something far more accurate to who you truly are. Understand this deeper signal, because it explains why this phase feels intense. Archangel Michael says, what tried to keep you stagnant relied on predictability. It thrived when you doubted yourself and repeated the same cycles. Now that your perception has shifted, predictability is gone. This is why things may feel unstable for a moment. Stability built on confusion cannot survive clarity. You are not losing control, you are reclaiming it. Pay attention to how your inner dialogue changes now. You will catch yourself pausing before agreeing, reflecting before reacting, choosing before committing. These are not small changes. These are signs of sovereignty returning to your life. Notice the subtle invitation, because it carries quiet power. Archangel Michael says, you are being guided to choose alignment over approval. In the past, you may have measured progress by how accepted your choices were by others. From now on, progress will be measured by how aligned your choices feel within you. Some people will not understand the shift. Some situations will no longer respond the way they used to. This is not rejection. This is recalibration. What belongs to your next level will meet you without resistance. What does not belong will slowly fade, without conflict, without explanation, without drama. Allow this truth to settle, because it changes how you move forward. Archangel Michael says, you do not need to confront everything you now understand. Wisdom knows when to step away instead of stepping into conflict. Your power is not in proving what you see, but in acting according to it. As you move with quiet confidence, life will rearrange itself around your decisions. Doors that once felt heavy will open naturally. Paths that once felt blocked will reveal alternatives you never noticed before. This is the reward of clarity, it simplifies what confusion made complex. Carry this final reminder, and let it anchor you. Archangel Michael says, "You are not here to survive other people's expectations, you are here to live your own truth fully and consciously." The warning you received was not a threat, but a gift, an interruption meant to wake you at the exact right moment. Trust what you know now. Walk forward without hesitation. What is meant for you is not lost, it is waiting for you to arrive as yourself. I remain beside you as you choose clarity over compromise and truth over delay. Amen. Remain still for this moment, because what comes now is the confirmation your soul has been waiting for. Archangel Michael says, "When truth settles inside you, it does not shout, it steadies you. You may feel less urgency to convince, less desire to chase, less need to fix what was never yours to carry. This calm is not weakness, it is mastery. You are stepping out of reaction and into authorship of your life. Notice how your energy feels more protected now. You are no longer leaking yourself into situations that do not return clarity. This is the beginning of self-respect at a soul level, where choices are made not from fear of loss, but from trust in alignment. Pay attention to this shift, because it will quietly redefine your future." Archangel Michael says, "The next opportunities you encounter will test not your strength, but your discernment. They will look familiar, sound convincing, and arrive quickly. This time, you will feel the difference immediately. What is meant for you will not confuse you, rush you, or require you to shrink. It will feel clean, grounded, and steady. You will sense expansion instead of pressure. This is how you will know you are no longer repeating old cycles, you are responding from awareness, not habit. Let this truth anchor deeply, because it frees you from old questions." Archangel Michael says, "You were never wrong for trusting, you were learning how to trust wisely. Every delay, every emotional loop, every unanswered effort refined your perception. Nothing was wasted. What once felt like stagnation was preparation. Now you carry insight without bitterness and strength without hardness. This balance is rare, and it is why your next chapter will unfold with less resistance and more precision than you expect. Notice how your focus changes, because focus is where creation begins." Archangel Michael says, "As you stop giving attention to what drains you, your vision sharpens. You will feel drawn towards simplicity, honesty, and depth. Surface-level promises will no longer excite you. You will choose what nourishes your peace over what flatters your ego. This choice alone shifts timelines. When peace becomes your compass, confusion loses access to your path. Hold this final alignment, and move forward with certainty." Archangel Michael says, "The warning has now become wisdom, and wisdom becomes direction. You are protected not because nothing will challenge you, but because you now recognize what deserves your energy. Walk ahead with calm authority. Your life is no longer being influenced from the outside, it is being led from within. I stand with you as clarity continues to unfold and purpose moves into action. Amen." Stay attentive to this unfolding, because what is revealed now explains why everything felt delayed until this exact moment. Archangel Michael says, "Timing was never against you, it was protecting you. Had things moved faster before, you would have stepped forward without the clarity you now carry. The pause you experienced refined your awareness, sharpened your intuition, and strengthened your inner boundaries. This is why what comes next will feel different. Lighter, cleaner, unmistakably right. You are no longer moving from hope alone, you are moving from understanding. And understanding creates momentum that cannot be forced or interrupted. Recognize this inner confirmation, because it is your new guide. Archangel Michael says, "The voice you hear within you now is calmer than before, yet more decisive. It does not argue. It does not panic. It simply knows." When choices appear, you will not feel torn in multiple directions anymore. One path will feel steady, while others feel distant and unnecessary. This is discernment activating at a higher level. Trust this quiet certainty. It is the result of everything you have endured, observed, and integrated. Allow this transformation, because resistance is no longer needed. Archangel Michael says, "You do not have to guard yourself the way you once did." Awareness has replaced defense. Where you once questioned your worth, you now recognize your value. Where you once waited for reassurance, you now move with self-approval. This shift changes how others respond to you. Interactions will feel more honest. Expectations will become clearer. What aligns will approach naturally, what does not will step away without friction. Feel the return of momentum, because it signals realignment. Archangel Michael says, movement will resume in practical, visible ways. Conversations will bring clarity instead of confusion. Decisions will lead to progress instead of repetition. Your energy will feel conserved rather than scattered. This is how alignment expresses itself, not through dramatic signs, but through smooth forward motion. Each step will confirm the last, building confidence without effort. Seal this awareness within you, and carry it forward. Archangel Michael says, "You have crossed a threshold of understanding that cannot be undone." From this point on, you will recognize truth by how grounded it makes you feel. Walk your path with patience and quiet confidence. What belongs to you will meet you at the right time, in the right way. I remain with you as clarity becomes action and direction becomes destiny. Amen. Remain open to this realization, because it explains why your strength now feels different from before. Archangel Michael says, "You are no longer proving your resilience through endurance alone. You are expressing it through choice." The power returning to you is not loud or dramatic, it is precise. You will notice how easily you disengage from what once consumed your thoughts. Situations that demanded constant emotional effort will no longer hold your attention. This is not indifference, it is maturity of the spirit. When you stop wrestling with what drains you, your energy naturally redirects toward creation, growth, and clarity. Take note of this internal clarity, because it signals a permanent shift. Archangel Michael says, "The clarity you feel now will not fade the way past motivation did." Motivation came and went because it depended on circumstances. Clarity stays because it is rooted in truth. Even when challenges arise, you will sense a stable center within yourself that does not collapse under pressure. This center is your alignment. It allows you to respond instead of react, to choose instead of endure. This is how confusion loses its grip, not through struggle, but through understanding. Observe how your boundaries evolve, because this is where real change becomes visible. Archangel Michael says, "You will begin to protect your time, your focus, and your emotional space without guilt. You will say less, explain less, and mean more. This quiet authority will feel unfamiliar at first, but it is natural to your higher self. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They ensure that what enters your life contributes to your growth rather than interrupts it. With each boundary honored, your confidence stabilizes further. Notice the shift in your expectations, because it reshapes your future. Archangel Michael says, you will stop expecting fulfillment from places that were never designed to give it. Instead, you will align yourself with environments, conversations, and commitments that feel reciprocal and grounded. This adjustment will feel subtle, yet its impact will be profound. When expectations align with reality, disappointment dissolves. You will feel lighter not because life is perfect, but because you are no longer resisting what you already know. Hold this awareness as you move forward, for it is now part of you. Archangel Michael says, you are no longer searching for confirmation, you are living from recognition. Each step you take from this place reinforces your trust in yourself. Let calm guide your actions and clarity shape your decisions. The path ahead does not require urgency, only consistency in truth. I stand with you as understanding becomes embodiment and purpose expresses itself through peace. Amen. Stay grounded in this awareness, because what follows explains why your path will now feel unmistakably yours. Archangel Michael says, when clarity becomes embodied, comparison fades away. You will no longer measure your progress against timelines that were never meant for you. The pressure to match, chase, or compete will dissolve naturally. In its place, a steady confidence emerges, one that does not rush and does not hesitate. This is the confidence of someone who knows their direction. From this point forward, distractions will reveal themselves quickly, and you will move past them without emotional investment. Sense this inner alignment, because it is reshaping how outcomes arrive. Archangel Michael says, what once required effort will begin to respond to intention. You will notice smoother interactions, clearer decisions, and fewer mixed signals. Life starts cooperating when your inner and outer choices are consistent. This does not mean every step will be effortless, but it does mean each step will feel meaningful. Purpose replaces pressure. Progress replaces waiting. You are no longer preparing to live, you are actively living from awareness. Acknowledge this quiet strength, because it is now your foundation. Archangel Michael says, your calm presence will influence situations more than words ever did. You will notice people responding differently to you, not because you changed who you are, but because you stopped abandoning yourself. This is integrity at a soul level. When your actions align with your truth, your life reflects that alignment back to you. Respect, clarity, and opportunity follow naturally. Recognize this moment of transition, because it marks the end of an old cycle. Archangel Michael says, the lessons that once repeated themselves have now completed their purpose. You will not be tested the same way again. Instead of confusion, you will be guided by recognition. Instead of delay, you will experience flow. This is not a reward, it is a result. A result of awareness earned, patience practiced, and truth accepted. Carry this certainty forward, and let it guide your next steps. Archangel Michael says, you are now walking in conscious alignment, and nothing that belongs to confusion can hold you here again. Trust the steadiness within you. Move without doubt. Choose without fear. Your life is no longer being shaped by what you tolerate, but by what you honor. I remain with you as clarity continues to deepen and direction becomes effortless. Amen. Remain conscious of this shift, because it is now influencing realities you cannot yet see. Archangel Michael says, when inner alignment stabilizes, unseen pathways begin adjusting in your favor. Circumstances rearrange quietly. Delays dissolve without announcement. You may suddenly realize that something you once feared losing no longer matters, while something you never planned for starts calling you forward. This is not randomness, it is correction. Life responds when the soul stops sending mixed signals. Your certainty is now being recognized beyond the visible layer of your experience. Notice how trust feels now, because it no longer pulls you outward. Archangel Michael says, true trust does not demand proof or urgency. It allows you to move calmly even when outcomes are still forming. You will find yourself acting with confidence before results appear, not because you are guessing, but because alignment has replaced doubt. This is where faith becomes functional, not emotional, not reactive, but steady and grounded. You are no longer waiting for signs, your clarity has become the sign. Allow this confidence to deepen, because it carries responsibility. Archangel Michael says, with awareness comes choice, and with choice comes direction. You will feel less tolerant of confusion, half-commitments, and unclear intentions. This is not rigidity, it is respect for your own energy. The more you honor your inner truth, the more your life reflects that honor back to you. Precision replaces chaos. Simplicity replaces struggle. You begin choosing what supports your expansion instead of what merely distracts you. Observe how momentum returns, because this is alignment in motion. Archangel Michael says, progress will now come through consistency rather than intensity. Small, intentional steps will create lasting movement. You will no longer feel the need to rush or force outcomes. What belongs to you will meet you halfway. What does not will fall away without resistance. This is how clarity protects you, by guiding your effort where it matters and conserving your strength where it does not. Anchor this truth within you, for it is now part of who you are becoming. Archangel Michael says, you have crossed into a phase where understanding leads and fear no longer negotiates your decisions. Walk forward with steadiness. Trust the calm that guides you. Your path is no longer unclear, it is simply unfolding at the pace of alignment. I remain with you as wisdom turns into movement and purpose continues to reveal itself. Amen. Stay aware of this unfolding truth, because it is shaping the deeper layers of your life. Archangel Michael says, when clarity takes root, you will notice how easily false impressions fall away. What once demanded your energy without return will begin to lose its appeal. Conversations that felt urgent will feel trivial. Decisions that seemed complex will simplify naturally. You are now moving from discernment, not from reaction. This is the awakening of your inner compass, and it will guide every step forward with unwavering precision. Notice the subtle signals around you, because they confirm your awakening. Archangel Michael says, You will begin to recognize patterns and people for what they truly are, without overthinking or fear. Situations that once repeated themselves to test you will no longer hold power. Your awareness acts as a filter now, filtering out what drains, misleads, or delays you. This clarity does not arrive as loud revelation, it enters quietly, persistently, and unmistakably. You will feel a sense of relief as the unnecessary finally falls away. Embrace this inner authority, because it strengthens your every action. Archangel Michael says, boundaries are no longer optional, they are natural. You will speak less to prove yourself and act more to honor your truth. This is not isolation, it is empowerment. Energy that was once lost on doubt or persuasion is now redirected into creation, movement, and meaningful connection. Your presence alone will signal clarity to the world around you, and you will notice doors opening effortlessly where alignment exists. Feel the expansion within, because it signals a higher resonance. Archangel Michael says, when you stop giving life to confusion, you make room for insight, opportunity, and growth. You will attract circumstances that honor your time, space, and potential. Nothing external can impose direction on you now unless it resonates with your own clarity. The momentum you feel is the natural result of alignment, the universe rearranging in response to your awakened consciousness. Hold this power gently, yet firmly, because it is the key to your next chapter. Archangel Michael says, you are no longer reacting to life's noise, you are co-creating with truth. Every step you take from here reflects wisdom, patience, and authority. Your life is no longer negotiable by illusion or expectation. Walk steadily, with calm assurance. I remain with you as alignment continues to manifest and your purpose flows without obstruction. Amen.